Augustus's reforms, military, finance, and building Rome's infrastructure. When Augustus came to power in the late 1st century BCE, Rome was broken, politically fractured, financially unstable, and physically scarred from years of civil war. But over the next 4 decades, he transformed Rome from a crumbling republic into a thriving empire. Augustus understood that if his new political order, the Principate, was going to last, it needed more than just peace. It needed systems. His answer, a broad set of reforms that reshaped the Roman military, stabilized the empire's finances, and rebuilt its infrastructure for the long term. Let's break down how Augustus turned chaos into control through his 3 most lasting reform areas. 1. Military reform. From private armies to a professional force. Before Augustus, Rome's military loyalty lay with generals, not the state. That's how civil wars had become so common. Legions followed their commanders like Caesar, Pompey, or Antony, often against Rome itself. Augustus knew this had to change. What he did, created a standing, professional army. He reduced the bloated number of legions from 60 plus to around 28, and made military service a full-time career path. Set standard terms of service. Soldiers now served 16 to 25 years, depending on their role, and could expect retirement benefits. Established the area militaire, this military treasury, funded by taxes and Augustus's own wealth, paid pensions and bonuses to veterans, keeping their loyalty tied to the emperor, not rogue generals. Stationed troops in the provinces. Legions were now positioned along the empire's frontiers, not in Italy, reducing the risk of coups and maintaining border security. Created the Praetorian Guard, an elite force stationed in Rome, serving as the emperor's personal bodyguard and an early form of domestic security. Result: the Roman army became more disciplined, loyal, and effective. For the first time, it was an imperial institution, not a tool of individual ambition. 2. Financial reform. Stabilizing the empire's economy. Decades of war had devastated Rome's economy. Corrupt tax collection, rampant inflation, and inconsistent revenue streams meant Rome was rich in theory but unstable in practice. Augustus tackled this head-on. What he did: reformed provincial taxation. He removed corrupt private tax collectors publicani, and replaced them with state-appointed officials, reducing abuse and improving efficiency. Standardized coinage. Augustus introduced a reliable currency system with consistent gold aureus, silver denarius, and bronze denominations. This stabilized trade across the empire, balanced public spending. He funded public works, games, and military expenses, responsibly, often using his personal fortune rather than state funds to maintain political goodwill. Established permanent treasuries. Beyond the military fund, he set up the fiscus imperial treasury to manage state revenues separately from the Senate's erarium. Result: Rome's economy was stabilized, trade across the empire expanded, and the state gained greater financial independence and oversight. Augustus laid the groundwork for long-term economic growth. 3. Infrastructure reform. Rebuilding and beautifying Rome. Rome in the late Republic was overcrowded, poorly maintained, and vulnerable to fires, floods, and disease. Augustus didn't just want to restore Rome, he wanted to make it worthy of an empire. What he did: massive building projects. Augustus famously said, "I found Rome a city of brick and left it a city of marble." He rebuilt temples, theaters, aqueducts, roads, and public spaces throughout Rome and the provinces. Created the Cura Virum, a public office responsible for the maintenance of roads, ensuring better connectivity for trade, communication, and troop movement. Expanded aqueducts and water systems. He built and repaired aqueducts like the Aqua Julia and Aqua Virgo, improving public health and sanitation. Established a fire and police service. Rome got its first urban cohorts, police force, and vigils, firefighters and night watchmen. Improving safety and order. Developed public amenities, public baths, libraries, and marketplaces helped elevate the quality of life for Roman citizens, while also reinforcing Augustus's image as a generous and capable ruler. Result: Augustus's building program didn't just improve daily life, it broadcast his power. Every temple, road, or aqueduct was a symbol of stability, progress, and imperial pride. Conclusion: building an empire that could endure. Augustus didn't just claim power, he built the systems that made that power sustainable. Through military reform, he created loyalty and security. Through financial reform, he stabilized the empire's core economy. And through infrastructure reform, he reshaped the physical and cultural landscape of Rome. These reforms didn't just benefit his reign, they allowed the Roman Empire to thrive for generations. Later, emperors may have expanded the empire's borders, but it was Augustus who laid its foundations.